Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Paul, and this try to cover things that I am curious about and things I've looked into, I like to share. So in today's video, I wanted to bring up something that I've noticed in talking with a lot of people, and it's been kind of bothersome to me. And I don't know exactly what it stems from, but I wanted to talk about it here today. And it's this idea of self-compassion. There's a lot of things that we understand in life when it comes to helping out children. But for whatever reason, when it comes to helping out ourselves or helping out other people who, yes, they may be older, for whatever reason, we don't quite understand that we are still children. And what I'm saying may be a little bit controversial, obviously, in the sense that, okay, no, it's like you've grown up, you're not a child anymore. But if there's one thing true that I've realized about us, it's that we don't stop. Like, let's say let's take that old couple. Let's take the 70 to 80-year-old couple or older, and they're happily married. If you see a healthy marriage there, you'll see the playfulness, you'll see the jokes, you'll see the childish play, the childish flirtation, if you will, that's going on between that old couple. Just because that we have many years does not mean that we ever lose that sense of being a child, right? And I would even argue too, in a faith sense, that God encourages us to be childlike with Him. Now, there's also, yes, in the faith that you put off your childish ways and that you grow up. I get all that, but still, with Him, we're supposed to come to Him like a child, right? Our faith is supposed to be of that, like a child. And then we're supposed to mature in that, but still, we're still children, especially compared to Him. If you think about what a child represents, if you will. But anyways, I say all this to just give like a little bit of a background to what I'm about to say. Okay, I have realized that one of the most hurtful things that we do with ourselves in growing up is this idea of self-judgment, especially when we are not doing what we want to do as well as we want to do it or to our own standard. I do think that there's a certain level of health that's good with that type of self-judgment, but it's okay to be self-judgment or to judge the action. But what I see with a lot of people is a judgment of self, and they start defining themselves by their lack of ability to perform in those various areas. So they'll say "I am" in front of their statements. Maybe it's like, let's take like the 30-year-old or 40-year-old. Let's say they're getting back into working out, and they just, "Oh, I'm not athletic," and they just repeat that to themselves over and over and over again, just because they can't do the stuff that they did when they were 15, or because they see maybe another 30 or 40-year-old who's out there doing some really awesome stuff, but they're not there yet. So "Oh, I'm just not this." And over, it's a form of self-judgment. And then we just feed into that. Let's take another one. Let's say that you had someone who growing up always, struggling with math, right? Let's say they're trying to learn math in their 30s, and everyone would say, this is too late. Same thing with languages. "Oh, this is too late. Oh, I'm just not good at these things. I am. And we define ourselves by these things. We are so self-critical. And someone may pass us off to say, "Paul, that's not that bad just to say I'm not good at something. I'm not this." But here's the thing of what I'm trying to argue. Where does that stop? Most of us aren't good at most things in life. So are we just going to put that label on ourselves for everything in life, and then therefore limit ourselves to only the couple good things that we are good at? What about the rest of life that we have to explore, or that I should say that we get the chance to explore, but we cut ourselves off from because we're saying, "I am not." Sure, you're not going to be the 1% achiever in those areas, but what if you could be the 70% achiever? What if you're not the best cook in the world, but just because I'm not the best cook in the world, do I then cut myself from all types of cooking, or do I just try and learn and just trying to have fun with it? Right? I would say it's the same thing with math. It's the same thing with learning languages. It's the same thing with trying to be athletic. Okay, Great. You're not going to be the Olympian. No one asked you to be. No one asked you to be. So why do you have so much self-judgment and say, oh, I'm not these things? Well, if you know it's going to improve your life and your well-being and maybe the lives of others around you, why on earth are you trying to judge yourself as the top 1%? I just don't get that criticalness that we have on ourselves just because we see someone else is better. It's like that other person has nothing to do with you at all. If this thing is going to make your life better, go for it and put the blinders on and go for it. Are you not willing to fail? Like, why are you not willing to fail? And it's that idea of, oh, well, I thought I would be here at this time. Okay, well, screw your idea that you thought you'd be there at that. Who put that idea? You did by your expectations. Okay, well, why'd you put those expectations? Okay, whatever. There's a whole slew of things there. But here's where I want to tie it back to saying, to tie it back how in the beginning, this is what I was saying. With a child, we are so gracious and so compassionate. They do just about everything wrong growing up. And we continually guide them, teach them, and help them to grow. They fall down while trying to learn to walk. We don't judge them. We're like, oh, they're a child. They're just learning to walk. And then when they start walking, we're going to start teaching them some other things. And then when they're failing on those other things, we're like, oh, they're a child. It's okay. I will repeat the same thing for the 10th time now. It's okay. And we innately get, oh, this is a child. They are just learning. So I'm trying to say, what about that same compassion on yourself? If you're trying to do something that you've never done before, well, just because you're 30 years old does not mean that you're not a baby in that category. You are literally a child in that category. So give yourself some compassion and grace. Our expectations that we place on ourselves in this form of self-judgment, I think it's one of the number one killers of all growth in life, because we just crush ourselves by our own expectations. And so this is an area that I would really, really, really like to see us turn back on ourselves, what we naturally are able to give in abundance to our children. Think just for 1 second about the last goal that you failed on. And this goal had to be a goal that you were in an area that you weren't already comfortable with. So whatever that may be for you. Okay. Think about the last goal that you failed in that sense. It was an area that you weren't comfortable with, that you were trying something new, and then it didn't work. What if you had a 3-month goal, like a 90-day goal to do the thing? What if it took you 2 years? Okay. And this is where I'm getting with this. Maybe it was 2 years ago and you tried it for 90 days and you failed. Well, guess what? The time still went by. So what if for the other, a year and 3 quarters, what if you just kept doing it? And now 2 years later, guess what? The 2 years still passed. It's not like the 2 years didn't pass. Now it just says, okay, we did it for 90 days. We didn't do it for the other year and 3 quarters. And yeah, I tried that thing in the past. I'm not good at it. Well, what if you stuck with it? What if you stuck with it? What if you even did it every other day for the past, year and 3 quarters? 2 years still passed. Where would you be now? Where would you be now in your athletic journey? Would you be running maybe 2 miles instead of saying, oh, I couldn't even run a quarter of a mile? Would you be running 2 miles? And then you say, okay, but I can't even do, a 5K. Who cares? Whose standards are those? And if those are your standards, okay, well then great. Let it take 3 years. At least you're doing it, and at least you're running. Isn't running 2 miles better than sitting on the couch saying, oh, I tried? Oh, I tried? You know what I'm saying? This is that self-judgment that we have that I just don't understand. Oh, I tried learning that. It didn't come naturally. Okay. What does come naturally when people are like learning new things? Very, very few things. There are some things, yes, that do, but very, very few things. So just because something's hard, doesn't mean that we shouldn't pursue it, even if we don't think that we're naturally good at it, And so anyways, I could keep going on with this subject, but I just think this idea of the critical nature that we have on ourselves. We have an infinite amount of compassion on a child. And I want this video to be encouraging to say, hey, turn a little bit of that compassion on yourself. Go do something that you're not used to doing. Go try and do a new thing. Go try and do it. And turn that compassion on yourself. And enjoy, laugh when you fall on your face, because it's part of the process. There is no shame in falling on your face when trying something new. That's the point. You're trying something new. You're growing. You're trying. There's no shame in being bad at something. Like, really, there's not. And if you say there is, well, your life's going to be pretty boring. I'm not going to lie. Your life's going to be pretty boring if you say there's shame in being bad at something. You don't need to be good at everything. You have free license to do whatever you want. So just go be willing to be bad at something. We don't have to be good at everything. I don't know. This is one that I really, really, really want us to change our perspectives on. I think there could be so much growth, so much joy, so much enthusiasm that comes out of this if we were willing to let ourselves fail more, fall on our face more, because we didn't judge ourselves more. Anyways, if you agree with me or if you disagree, let me know down in the comment section below. With that being said, I will see you guys on the next one.